Hey guys, and welcome to the first showing, really, of what I'm setting up for my universe mode. Now, in the background, I'll be setting up our first PLE. What we've done is we're starting on a PLE. We've vacated every championship. We've changed every championship for every show. We have also got rid of NXT. Main reason for this is because it really lengthens out a series, adds more PLEs in, which can be a good thing. But when you've got Raw and SmackDown, who both have individual PLEs themselves, individual rivalries, there'll be so much going on. We have got completely vacated championships and brand new well, not brand new, they're the old championships, very old championships. The vast majority of them. So the women's championship we've kept the same, we've just vacated it. We're then putting the women's championship over both brands. We have kept the women's intercontinental and the women's US, but we have got rid of the women's tag division just because I find it takes away in universe mode a lot from the women's division in general. There's far less women in universe mode still. So there's a reason to have the male tag team championships there, but giving the women more titles to fight for, but taking away the women's tag team championships. With the brands, there has been a draft. That draft has brought up Cora Jade from SmackDown. Well, goes to SmackDown. Ethan Page has gone to Raw. Kalani Jordan has gone to Raw. Obafemi has gone to SmackDown. Trick Williams has gone to SmackDown. And Tony D'Angelo has gone to Raw. Trick and Tony D'Angelo won't fight on this pay-per-view, nor will Cora Jade. Kalani, Ethan Page and Obafemi will. We're just getting the men's Money in the Bank ready. They're getting moved around because of matches later in the night. So we're bringing in Braun Strowman, Bron Breakker and Gunther. Bron Breakker and Braun Strowman, I would quite like to bring Braun Strowman back to the main event, but it depends on how his performances he picked up in game. Also in universe mode, we'll be keeping track of their wins to loss ratio and just giving a vague reminder by every PLE who has got the best win to loss ratio, who's got the worst. After this week, there will be a superstar shake-up that will not include the people that won championships tonight, but will include those who haven't, nor the Money in the Bank. The Money in the Bank will stay with Raw. Later in the series, we'll get something separate for SmackDown themselves. It's just because SmackDown have a smaller roster, so it makes it a lot better to fill out the Money in the Bank pay-per-view with the Raw competitors going for the Money in the Bank. Now, the only championship we won't have on the line tonight is the Women's Intercontinental title. The Women's Intercontinental title will be fought for on the next SmackDown. We have, for the Women's US title, Kalani Jordan going against Becky Lynch. The old, still incredible, versus the new. Now what we're setting up next is the Men's Tag Team Championships. The Men's Tag Team Championships we've kept the same. I don't like the older model like I like the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight, the older US model, the older Intercontinental model. I also think the older Intercontinental model gives us more freedom to switch around who holds it, what they want the belt to look like, whether it's the black, the yellow or the white belt. So we've got JD McDonough and Finn Balor, Judgment Day against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Next, we'll be setting up our US Championship match. A lot of these matches will just be normal one-on-ones, but it'll be Ethan Page versus Chad Gable. Now, Chad Gable obviously has his own faction within WWE. However, it's that sort of similar build, reasonably similar style and game. See how they fare against each other. We're putting them up for the US Championship. Now you'll see here we're just moving back to the old US Championship. And that's one thing I like to do in Universe Mode. I think it gives a distinct split, whereas the difference with the Undisputed title and the World Heavyweight, I don't think it brings the World Heavyweight enough validation in WWE, whereas the WWE Championship has that validation, so does the World Heavyweight title, so it feels more realistic. I mean, one of my key memories of that title, the US title, is The Miz, and The Miz holding it, and I just think it's great. Same with the old Intercontinental Championship, Dolph Ziggler. A key memory for me is me holding it. So the reason I bring them back is because it holds sentimental value. If you're starting your own Universe Mode, go for that sentimental value. It will bring more to your Universe Mode. It will make it more authentic, more you, and it will make you want to play it more. Now, we've got the Intercontinental Championship, where Obafemi will face off against AJ Styles. This will be a ladder match. Again, that old and new, that combo, that I just think will work really well early on in this pay-per-view to bring validation to the 6 picks we brought up from NXT. Obviously, the rest of NXT, Axiom, and them lot will come up. Tony D'Angelo will bring up his sidekick, but it will take time. It's not going to be instant because, for example, you bring Tony D'Angelo up with his sidekick, it's just going to be a bit unrealistic for him not to win too much. And I think with them coming up from NXT, if they came up together, I'd more be looking at putting them in tag division, and that's Bayley and Bianca. So what we've done there is we've taken a superstar from Raw, taken a superstar from SmackDown, and we've put them together. Bianca's in there because we got rid of the Women's Tag Team Championships, and we didn't really want her just floating around, no division, not really knowing what to do. I also didn't want Bianca in them singles titles for the women within the US and the Intercontinental Women's Championships. I didn't think that was right. Now we're just now realising that I messed up a little bit, and I put the women's titles as different on both brands, which is something that I didn't want to do. The main event of Money in the Bank will be the World Heavyweight and WWE Championships. The matches for that on paper won't be boring, but they'll be very stereotypical. But I'll get to that once we get to that on screen. So what we're setting up now, which is a bit weird, we're putting the women's single title after the main championship. That's just, again, to bring more presence to Kalani Jordan and Becky Lynch in this Universe Mode, to try and bolster them realistically up the card, rather than constantly putting them lower on the card than the Women's Championship, and it feeling like that championship has no value. Now we're going to get into the two men's main championships. Obviously, I've not done the same style as I did for the women's because the lower titles have value, but as they are so new in real life and in game, it will bring more value to put them later on in the card, especially earlier on when they're still trying to validate themselves as quite big championships. Otherwise you might find yourself getting rid of them and finding them unenjoyable because they're so far down on the card. So what we're doing next is the WWE Championship. So this is where I say it might be a bit stereotypical. What we've done is we've put CM Punk in, but he's going to face Drew McIntyre, which is stereotypical just because of the fact that they've had their rivalry. But you'll see now we are just going for the WWE Championship, the older one. I think it's one that's really nice. It's just a clean looking championship. Now, to close the show, we gave a normal one-on-one. The bloodline isn't something that I want to be prominent in this, but it will probably come in at times within Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. What we've done is, obviously, Cody, we stripped him of his undisputed title, and Roman Reigns. They're both huge names on SmackDown, so we're giving Cody and Roman the chance to fight out in the main event of our first PLE and our first show for that championship. Those are some of my tips and tricks to making universe mode fun and enjoyable for yourselves, and what makes it enjoyable for me. So if you have enjoyed, or if you're going to take anything from this, please leave a like and do subscribe, guys. Have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you on Saturday for when we start WWE's Money in the Bank on universe mode. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye.